Hey everyone, Mr. Justin here with the Hernando County Public Library System, and thank you so much for joining us for another science video. This one's a fun one. I like this one. This one's pretty cool, and this is one that it's taken me a long time to get right, but I finally got it right, so I'm going to show it to everybody today, and we are going to do a cool little experiment called a Cartesian diver. And so what you need for this is you're going to need a bottle, a plastic bottle. What works best for me is going to be a 1 liter bottle. So I found this in the soda aisle at the grocery store. You can either get like tonic water or club soda. That kind of bottle is going to be perfect for this, 1 liter. And what we're going to do is I dumped out the water that was in here. I think I had club soda. I dumped that out. I washed it out, and then I filled this up with just regular tap water, and I made sure to fill it up almost all of the way. And you want it kind of filled up as completely. The only reason why I didn't fill it up completely is because I will be adding something to it in just a moment. What else you need for this experiment is going to be a little condiment packet. Now everything I see online is saying ketchup packet works. Ketchup is the best. Ketchup is the best. Well, I haven't found a ketchup packet that really works for me for this experiment. So what I use in this case is a Boar's Head honey mustard packet. So the cool thing with doing science experiments is you can get a bunch of little condiment packets and see what one is going to work best for you. Now in order for this to work for this experiment, what you want is you want a condiment packet that is going to float when you put it in a cup of water. So if I take this honey mustard, you can see that it floats. It's not completely floating up, but it's definitely floating. And if it's a packet that just sinks to the bottom of the cup, that's not going to work for this experiment. Now what you could do is add some salt to it until the packet rises up. If you only have one packet around the house, then that would work. But I like it. I think it's just easier to use a packet that's going to float to begin with, which is going to be this honey mustard packet against Boar's Head. And I just got it in the deli section at the grocery store, and that worked for me. And that seems to be what will work for this experiment. As you can see, it is currently floating in this other bottle. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to take my 1 liter bottle that I had filled with water. You can also start having this be empty at the beginning and put the packet in first, but just for simplicity, I went ahead and filled it up with water first. Doesn't matter what order you do it in. You can even do half water, drop in the packet, fill it up with the rest of the water. But here's what we're going to do. We're going to squeeze the condiment packet, and we are going to put it in here in the bottle. And again, I have it filled up already, so it's going to spill just a little bit, which is why I have a little bucket here, little bin. There we go. And I'm going to go ahead and close the lid nice and tight. Now as you can see, our packet is floating, and the reason why it's floating is it has buoyancy. It is buoyant. We've talked about what floats and what doesn't float, what sinks before in the past. And again, it is less dense in the water, and it has buoyancy. The reason why it's less dense and it's buoyant right now is because when these packets are made and they're sealed off in the factory, because you know we have to rip it open in order to use it, there's a little pocket of air, and that little pocket of air is what's going to give it the buoyancy and allow it to float. Alright, so now that we have it in here, let's wipe this off so it's dry. And now what we're going to do is I'm going to give the bottle a squeeze, and let's see what happens. What do you think is going to happen when I squeeze the 1 liter bottle? Let's see. And hopefully what is going to happen is what's supposed to happen. Let's find out. I'm going to squeeze it, and there it goes down. So I squeezed it as hard as I could, and the packet sunk down to the bottom. Now if I let go, it's going to go back up. If I squeeze it again, it's going to go down. And if I unsqueeze it, if I let go, it's going to go back up. And again, you can see it with this one too. It goes down when I squeeze, and I let go, it goes up. And you can almost have the two kind of just go up and down depending on how you squeeze it. So that's pretty cool, but how does it work, right? Like we said, that when you have the packet that's just floating in the water, the reason why it's floating and has buoyancy is because it's got that little air pocket. Well, what's kind of cool is that when we squeeze on the bottle, we are actually kind of reducing the pressure that is in the bottle, and what's happening is at the same time that air bubble in the packet is actually getting smaller when we reduce the pressure in the bottle. And since it's smaller, it is no longer buoyant, and so it is now more dense than the water, and it's going to sink to the bottom. And of course, when we let go, the pressure goes back into the bottle, which means the air pocket in the air bubble in the packet of, in this case, honey mustard, is going to go back to its normal size. Now that's back to its normal size, it is now buoyant again and less dense in the water, and it's going to float back up to the top. So again, we squeeze it, we reduce the pressure in the bottle, which is going to shrink the air bubble in the packet of honey mustard, and then when we let go, that bubble expands back to its normal size and floats back up to the top of the bottle. So again, we are dealing with a little bit of buoyancy and air pressure, and just pressure inside of, air pressure inside of the bottle. And that's what's going to go up and down. And you can kind of control the condiment packet on your own. And it kind of makes it look like it's dancing in the bottle, which is pretty neat. So again, when we squeeze it, we are decreasing the buoyancy because we are shrinking the air bubble inside the packet. When we let go, the air bubble expands and it floats back up to the top of the bottle. So I hope you all can do this experiment at home. And again, if you don't get it right the first time, just keep trying. This is one that took me a while to get right. And so again, that's the fun thing about experiments. You can go in, see what worked, what didn't work. You can try different sizes of bottles, different liquids, different condiment packets, and see what works for you. The trick for me was to get a condiment packet that floated. So most of the ketchup packets I tried just sank to the bottom. So what you want is you want a packet that's going to float, and that seemed to do the trick for me. So again, if it doesn't work for you the first time, keep trying again, and hopefully you can get it to work for you. So thank you so much for joining us. We will be back with another fun science experiment next week, and we'll see y'all later. Bye.